house with O'Con. Hey, O'Con in your house. Hollywood in your house. Hypocrisy's head in the clouds. Curating all kind of loud. Wrestling in front of the crowds. Paragon's holding it down. Anybody can get it. Come to us for your news and opinions. We got a voice. There is no choice. We're some boys in your house making wrestling noise. Moving fast, it's like cruiserweight action. Your house is a perfect distraction. Papa see your ears when you in traction. Get this work with some wrestling action. Swallow.
What's up, guys? What's cracking? Hollywood House. In your house. We're back. We're ready to make a movie. I hope you guys are ready to make a movie. I hope you guys are with the shits, because I'm with the shits. And we're ready to talk a little wrestling. That is right. You already know the vibes. Anytime we slide on through, we're here to give you that work when it comes to this professional wrestling business. And guys, that is exactly what we're here to do. We're coming off of a big event. That is right. We're popping off at y'all right after Backlash France. And what an event it was. That crowd was crazy. And we're definitely going to talk about it, man. And, you know, we don't normally give you guys Saturday episodes, but we felt like the event was big enough that we wanted to check it out, then come on post show and talk about it. I got the press conference going on behind me right now, and Triple H is answering questions, but I'm going to bring in my co-host here because he also got a chance to view that event. And we're going to talk about it amongst a lot of other things that we're going to talk about, and that is the voice, Josh Joseph. He's coming on, and we're going to talk a little bit of Backlash. What's up, bro?
How goes it, Mr. House? The concept, wasn't that an amazing live event? That was spectacular. We've seen some amazing things. I cannot wait to get into it. Plus, we got to, see a little clips into the King of the Ring and the Queen of the Ring.
Yeah,
dude, I'm so excited for this one. France, you guys knocked it out of the park. I can't wait for the next one over there because that crowd really brought a banger.
Yes, man. Yes, it really did, man. And it was a fun show to watch, man. And there were some twists and turns. Like I think we did our preview show, we did our prediction show, and I think we got every match right. I do believe. I think we got every match right, which speaks to the predictability of this show, which I was not concerned with. If you guys listened to the last episode, I wasn't concerned with the predictability of the show. I was wanting to see what the atmosphere was going to be like, what the environment was going to be like, what type of twists and turns can be made out of this night. And we saw some twists and turns in this night, and we did see the title change that I think all of us had expected, and all the retaining of the titles that we had expected. But there was furthering of stories in this night, voice. Absolutely. And man, I just got to ask you before we kind of break it down match to match, what was your overall consensus on this show? Did you think it was all right? Did it meet your expectations? Did it go below your expectations? What are you thinking, man?
Honestly, we predicted what was going to happen because of our love for this, for wrestling, for WWE as a whole. And it is predictable because you do follow things, but overall, this show really gave me good feelings about the future of the WWE and from this Mania on. So yes, was it predictable? Yes. We only got one name wrong. That's it out of the whole thing. And I got my match of the night wrong. But other than that, we were pretty spot on with what was going to happen. And they made it come to life. We spoke it out there. We put it out there into the atmosphere. But the WWE and every wrestler, everybody associated with getting a show out there, including the fans, really brought it and brought what we were talking about to life. So it really was a fun, enjoyable watch. I enjoyed this Backlash. I can't wait for the next one.
Yeah, I agree with you, man. I really love the fact that they're doing these international shows.
Yeah.
on these otherwise B pay-per-views, because I remember years ago after WrestleMania, things were a little bit spotty, voice. It was like, okay, now we don't know what we're going to do. And we're just trying to really stagger things off till we get to the next major event, which, you know, in theory, the next major event, voice, would be Money in the Bank. But, but, and we're going to get to this in this show here, voice, the way that they've built this King of the Ring tournament has really, really made you feel like, my gosh, it seems like every show is feeling big right now.
Yeah.
And that's an amazing feeling in professional wrestling, voice. I am loving what I'm seeing. And as far as everything that we're seeing, how are you feeling, man, from your standpoint, as far as the magnitude of these otherwise B plus shows?
I'm thrilled. If I could go back to my younger self watching wrestling and being a fan of Backlash, I loved Backlash. It was one of my favorite pay-per-views. And King of the Ring, for them to really emphasize these two, the way they did with Backlash and what they're doing and setting up for King of the Ring, I'm a fanboy. So young me is so excited. I really think it speaks volumes to what Triple H is doing behind the scenes and the people he's putting in place to make this story become a reality to us, become something that we gravitate to, because he's not just focusing on one storyline. I mean, I want to see what he's going to be doing, because you've dethroned Gunther. So I need to know what that beast of a man can do without his title, without the fear of him running through people, because he's been shown that he's beatable now with the bloodline. What are we doing?
Like,
And
what's
that's in
even
a good
happening
way
anymore?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it really makes me think of the genius of Heyman, where he said, we're maybe in the fourth inning. And there's so much story to go. And, you know, when you hear that, you're kind of like, well, I've been watching it for a while, so I don't really know if I think you're a little further in it. You're trying to sell this, and then they do what they did at Backlash, and you go, oh, yep, he's right. I should have just trusted Heyman. I should have just trusted him. So in an overall sense, I'm super stoked that they're really pumping these B live events and making them live events for us to want. Like, I'm jealous that France got that that whole Backlash, and it's so awesome that a group of fans like that, especially setting a record for attendance, really brought back. I mean, it brought me back to ECW days, being in the Hammerstein Ballroom, doing those things, just watching it on tape and being like, oh my God, I wish I was there.
Yeah, absolutely, man. It's crazy to think that these shows are going to these international waters. So, like, and I even felt it. I don't know if you felt it when you were watching it as well, but when Kevin Owens came out for his entrance, he had this very long pause where he just looked around, and I was telling my son, I was like, this is a very cool moment, because I think he understood that this is the first time WWE's ever been to France.
Yeah.
And they said that on commentary. I was like, wow, I can't remember an event where they've ever been in France. And I think that with him being French Canadian, him being Kevin Owens, I think it was just like, wow, this is such a cool moment for me, for WWE. And he just soaked it in, basked it in, and that crowd was amazing. I got to tell you, man, I'm loving the new ground that WWE is breaking.
Yeah, you're not lying about that. I mean, this right now should be every WWE fan's like dream team right now, with Trips behind the wheel, because what are they putting out that you're not liking? That should be the question. I mean, they're putting out I'm liking Tiffy time. Let's.
Oh yes,
I never
very
thought I would be
talented.
into Tiffy time, but I mean, come on, the performance she had, it was a great match. There's so many. Uh, how did you put it weeks ago? A plethora of talent. Like that's the
Oh,
problem.
an embarrassment of riches.
Yes, exactly. An
An
embarrassment of riches.
embarrassment of riches, man.
Yeah, and isn't that where we're at right now? I mean, it's
Yeah,
just so evident and so in your face that it's like, okay, so the next group you're bringing to me on my live event, I'm going to just soak it in because you caught me with Backlash. You caught me with the
yeah,
one that most people. I used to. I was a big fan of it, but I used to have friends who we would watch all the pay-per-views, and Backlash was one that they would definitely tap out of, and they wouldn't watch it with me. It's like, well,
yeah.
why wouldn't you? It's right after WrestleMania. Let's go. I want
But
to see
like,
where they're going.
here's the thing about it, bro. They had developed WWE had developed such a bad reputation of being lazy on those B pay-per-views and not putting forth their best efforts.
Yeah.
I remember those years. Like that's those are times where like there was a long time. Just to keep it real with you, there was a long time when Raw or SmackDown would come to Indianapolis, and I would know about it, and I would have no interest in going at all.
Oh
And
man.
why? And why is that? Because the crowd is dead. Everybody's sitting on their hands. This is pre-pandemic when I think
Yeah.
everybody was a little bit just like exhausted with wrestling. Like I don't know if you remember this time as a fan or a goer of shows, but it seems like people who went to shows were just there to take their kid, or it was just something to do, or it
Yeah.
wasn't really like fan. Like you met your few of your like passionate wrestling fans, but it just felt like it was just something to do. It was just passing through. But then after the pandemic, things kind of just went in a completely different direction. And I remember that first show after the pandemic. It was lit. You know what I'm saying? But I'm just saying, when you take these shows and take them to these places that have never had them before, that have been dying to have these shows, it's a great feel and makes for a great atmosphere and environment for not just the fans, but for the talent too, because they're feeding off the fans, much like they were tonight at WWE Backlash. What's up, Roger? He's saying, what's up? Thoughts on the debut? Of course, he's talking about the debut of Tongaloa, who is the other member of the Gorillas of Destiny from New Japan Pro Wrestling with Tama Tonga. I said that it was going to be Jacob Fatu. I was wrong. I think I still feel like Jacob is coming. I still
Oh
feel
yeah.
like Jacob is coming. But I don't know what role he's going to play because now we have the Gorillas of Destiny. And Roger also says that this is the first time in years that he's actually invested in the WWE product. I agree with you, man, because there was a lot of the times years ago where I wasn't watching, or I felt like I was just watching out of instinct, or it was just background noise, just used to that. And I was just, I don't know. And that's what kind of drove me to the TNAs and the Ring of Honors and, the Lucha Undergrounds, and searching for that alternative, to see a different take on wrestling, because WWE felt lazy. They
Yeah.
don't feel lazy anymore. This is a full steam ahead effort, brother. And I love to see it. Voice, what was your thoughts on the debut of the other half of the Gorillas of Destiny, Tongaloa?
My God. I mean, when we talked, you laid it out perfectly, and you really brought it to my eyes that this is the moment. This would be the moment when they can add that extra person, because you have Roman out. We already heard about Paul saying, I haven't spoken to Roman since WrestleMania, and he apparently adoned Paul Heyman, the dictator of the group. And it's like CM Punk said at the very beginning, the pre-show, you're throwing Paul Heyman into a group of family members. How do you expect him to keep them under control? And you kind of seen it at the end of this match. a little later towards the end of after the match with the backstage thing. But the fact that you brought in the brother, it makes me laugh because I know what these guys are going to do to the roster. And
Man,
I'm just wondering
man.
how fast are they going to get the tag championships? How fast are they going to take whatever singles championship they want to take? The titles are going to be flooding back to the bloodline. Fantastic story writing. In the chat or in our discussion, you see me marking out for it. It was
Yeah.
it's such great story writing. It is such
It's so
great
good.
story writing, and the guys that they have doing it, I honestly brilliant in the fact that Nick comes out and at the beginning, and he's just like, because chaos is going on. Nobody's,
Yes.
everybody got to walk out to their theme song, have their moment there, but right after that, when they seen each other, it was just on.
It was on
And
site.
yeah, exactly. And when that happens, the boss has to come in and kind of rile everybody together, and he made it a street fight, and that was the best thing you could have done for that, because
Yes. Oh my gosh.
I mean, tell me you didn't want to see KO and Orton go at these guys and just give it to them. And when they did. I mean, Tonga literally took. Did you see his back at the end of
Yes.
that?
Yeah, I did. It was incredible. I just want to jump in and say, I said something to my son when we were watching. I was like, the way that Tama Tonga has so just fluently integrated himself into the roster since his debut just speaks to the professional that he is. Because I was like, man, Tama Tonga's been in the WWE for what, a few weeks?
Yeah.
The way he's so fluently integrated into the story, it feels like he's been there for like a year.
Yeah.
And that speaks to the professional that he is.
Oh yeah, very true. And just to wrap up my point,
Yeah.
when you said you're not sure where Jacob would fit in, he would take over the Solo position that Solo spent with the bloodline. He would be the enforcer, the guy kind of, you could kind of do that with him, because which person in this family could you not do that with? Like, is there like a runt of the family that maybe
Exactly what runt? Like,
like, I'm pretty sure they got a niece that's probably just in preschool that you could put in there, and she's going to be
and
intimidating.
she's good to go. She's ready to go.
So I really think there's a place for as many family members that they want to bring in for this story, because like I said, they hooked me even deeper with this Backlash, just going against two guys that we know can hold their own in a ring no matter who you put in there, in Randy Orton and Kevin Owens, and to see the destruction that happened, fantastic.
Yes, I love it, man. I really do. And that match was so fun, bro.
Yes.
That was exactly like when we did our draft, our belt draft. I think we all agreed that having some chaos on the show is great. That's why I drafted the WWF Hardcore Championship, because I think that there's a place for that type of madness and that type of chaos. And that's exactly what we saw in this match. We saw tables, we saw chairs, we saw everything used, and that hooked me and kept me in. As soon as I knew this was a street fight and I knew who was involved, I knew that everybody in there understood the assignment. And going back to what you said about Nick Aldis and what he did in terms of coming out and knowing when to make this match a street fight, I just want to say that Nick Aldis has been a really incredible general manager, and I really enjoy him in the role that he's in. It's just masterful. He knows how to take control. He doesn't back down. He stays firm. And it's kind of the same thing with Adam Pearce as well. But I don't know why, but it hits a little bit harder with Nick Aldis. And I just really enjoy it. This match was complete chaos. I love the brain buster through the chairs. That was my favorite spot. As soon as I saw it, I was going nuts. Man, that was just absolute insanity. man, what was you thinking about everything that you saw in that match?
Dude, I'm there with you. I went nuts when I seen that brain buster. It's just, it's so remarkable to see these guys. I mean, I'm an ECW kid. You're an ECW kid. We love when they bring orchestrated violence into a match. I'm not a big fan of the let's do this just for the sake of doing it. But when you do the way that they did with every spot, with the kendo sticks, with the table, I mean, just the amount of skill we both know that these competitors put into a match to make the fans entertained. This was a ballet, of violence, man. It was perfect. It really, like you were talking about, that brain buster that got me out of my chair. My daughter's looking at me. She's over there on her phone playing Roadblock. She looks up, sees her dad jumping up for grown men throwing each other through folding chairs. It kind of makes you giggle. Yeah. So I got excited for it. I can't wait for Monday night. I really can't. I can't wait to see where they're going to go, what's going to be said. I mean, there's so much that happened in this match that leads open to more. Randy Orton's not done with these guys. He can't be. And so who do they bring for their back?
That's gonna be a good question to see, and other questions arise too. Paul Heyman, lying about the participation of Roman Reigns in the draft, and saying that he hadn't spoke to Roman Reigns since WrestleMania, and then saying that he pulled himself from the draft, and then we figure out that Heyman is the one who pulled him from the draft. There's a lot of things going on in this Bloodline storyline right now where it's just getting getting messy. You got this version of the Bloodline right now who, let's face it, they're uncontrollable. Like even Heyman cannot control them. Like, they are wild and they're just doing whatever they want. Like, and I also got to bring back that ending to SmackDown. That ending to SmackDown was great. Loved it when it was just Randy Orton and Kevin Owens and the Bloodline fighting in the backstage area as the show went off the air. Great, perfect. I love it. Roger has a great question. Does this end in a War Games match? I think that it does. And I think this War Games match is going to be Bloodline versus Bloodline. I think it's going to be Bloodline Civil War once again in War Games. And man, if that is anywhere near me, I'm going to that.
You're going to have to, man. I mean, tell me that's not a War Games you would just hand over money for. Be like, show it to me.
Yeah, I'm giving you money for that.
Yeah, because that's going to be epic. And plus, just putting those men in a cage and not letting them out until it's done is a fantastic idea. I'm looking forward to it if that's where they go.
Oh, we have breaking news. We got some breaking news, boys. Or I know we're going to continue this discussion here. But the news is broken. Triple H has tweeted this out. In case you haven't heard, WWE is on fire right now. There's only one place that can handle what we're bringing to WrestleMania 41, Las Vegas, April 19th and 20th. Are you ready?
We're getting a 420 WrestleMania.
Oh my God.
And it's in Vegas. What?
Oh my God.
That's incredible.
Snoop gotta pull up.
Dude, I don't know. Yeah. I might need to see if all my good husband cards are out there, and maybe we might have to go out to this.
Oh my gosh. And I love Vegas. Absolutely love Las Vegas.
One of the best places on the planet.
I agree with you, bro. I, at one point, had called Vegas a second home because way back in the day when I was a young man, I lived in California. I would always go to Las Vegas. It was only a 2 hours drive from where I was at. And we would always go there for like family vacations and things like that. It was always great. So I always have a lot of great and fond memories in the city of Las Vegas. And damn it, if I have anything to do with it, I'm going to make more In Your House is hoping to be in Las Vegas for a little 420 WrestleMania.
Oh man, that would be epic. You fans would, the content you would get from that, from just that trip. Oh, it would be fantastic. Man,
so beautiful.
See, this is what happens when you stick with WWE for so many years through all the nonsense. You get a guy who's like, I got you guys. I understand. I was there too.
Oh man! Oh, we have somebody here in the comment. He said he flies for free, so his plane ticket is already taken care of. Yo, help a brother out.
Yeah,
no, bro. Hey man, I want to go. I want to go. I thought Minneapolis, if Minneapolis is would have been cool, you know, but I think Las Vegas is the perfect location. I've said it so many times before. Las Vegas is red hot in all aspects of sports right now. You know, they are the new hot city. They've recently acquired franchises and the NHL, and the WNBA, and the NFL with the Raiders, taking the Raiders in. Soon they'll be getting an MLB team. A lot of things are heating up in the city of Las Vegas. And this is just a perfect time to strike for WWE in a city that is really making a lot of noise in wrestling right now. I was just telling Matt Diesel on the interview that I had with him that Vegas is a hot spot, and I'm proud to have said that I've performed there at one point for wrestling. But man, what are your thoughts, man? Las Vegas, WrestleMania. We're still gonna talk Backlash, but I got to get your off the top of your head thoughts on WrestleMania 41 Vegas.
Dude, I honestly, my brain went to, what if I was walking through a casino that day and I look over, and over there just sitting at a blackjack table is Ford. He's just hanging out, and I just walk over to him, I'm like, hey, how's it going, man? And we end up having a amazing time. He becomes best friends with me. Me and Montez, we're just hanging out and we're just, cutting it up. And he's like, you know what? You got to come on tour with me with WWE. But I love it, man. I cannot wait. I'm actually going to really try to get to this one because you got WrestleMania, favorite event on the planet. You got Vegas, favorite place on the planet, and the favorite day of the year, 420. Come on.
It's perfect.
It is a perfect recipe for fun, for a great moment. Man, this is
I'm starting my savings right now. I'm starting it right now because I have to go to this. This is I really wanted to try to get out to Philadelphia, but we moved and everything, and the timing just wasn't right. And we didn't want to be, you got to be responsible. We got to still adult. But next year feels perfect for me. So, this is going to be really cool. This is going to be really cool, man.
Get a second job and just push through. And then, a week before, be like, hey, I'm going to Vegas.
Here we go, man. We got it, bro. But man, let's go ahead and get back to Backlash here. That was very cool to hear that it was Vegas. And it was cool that we got a chance to kind of talk about that here just on site at the show. That's why we have to stay on top of what's happening here in the wrestling world. That's what we do. But man, this show was a really good show. I want to talk a little bit about this triple threat match here, though. The women's triple threat match between, of course, champion Bayley, Tiffany Stratton, and of course, escaping me.
Naomi.
I'm sorry, Naomi.
Yeah.
Naomi. And I want to talk about that real quick. First off, I wanted to bring up something that really stood out to me before we really get to the match. Naomi's entrance was very, very cool. It felt like everybody was at a rave with her, and the way this French crowd got into it, and like, whoo, just getting behind it, and I love it. I think that I love to see those international crowds vibe with different superstars that American crowds don't vibe with in a different way. And
Yeah.
I think that also that helps create stars too. So like, I mean, I think it was in Australia that everybody was behind Tiffany Stratton in the Elimination Chamber, and that helped her get over a little bit more, I think. So I think that it's cool to see stuff like that. But this match, what did you think about it? Because I know that this was a match that me and you both had said was match of the night, and we both feel differently.
Yeah. I'm not going to say it was a match of the night, but it was a great match.
Yeah.
You could tell that fan base is really behind Naomi. And I know us here at In Your House, we all are fans of hers, and we enjoy the everything she's putting into week after week after week. So like you said, though, with the push from the Australian crowd, that also pushed Tiffany into the American crowd a lot more too.
Yeah.
I mean, right after that, she was hitting on some levels here. I mean, I was definitely like, okay, well, maybe I misjudged her, and I'm enjoying what she does. She's very athletic in the ring. She's very entertaining too. She doesn't stop. Like she keeps up with everybody.
Yeah.
Bailey had a great match. She's really going to be, and I've said it before on different streams here at In Your House, but this is the year of Bailey. Bailey is going to show you why she is a professional wrestler, and it's going to be this whole year. This match kind of showed me Bailey's ability to adapt in a match and come away with the win. So again, it wasn't match of the night. I don't know how you could have topped match of the night after they opened up with that banger, but it was a great match, a great title defense. Naomi, there's nothing I could ever say bad about her. She's fantastic. She that one move she did on the apron when she got I believe it was Tiffany in between her legs, and then she just started, shaking it to the crowd. That was a great moment in the match because it kind of eased it up from all the action, and then just brought it right back, because then she just slammed her head right on the edge of that apron. And I thought Tiffany Stratton was going to come out with a big goose egg on her head after that one, but she took it well, and we had Bailey retain the championship. So we pretty much, that was one we called. Like we said at the beginning, we called all these pretty correctly, just had one name wrong. But yeah, it was a great match. I'm actually going to rewatch it because there's a couple clips I want to take out of it.
Oh yeah, there's a few spots here in the match. I just look back at it. That unexpected Dudley death drop.
Yeah.
That was so unexpected in my favorite spot of the match, because I didn't expect that to happen at all. And it was just like, oh, here it is, unexpected teamwork, and I thought the match was fun. Like I do feel like it following the chaos of the opening match did hurt it. I really think maybe if you would have staggered it off, maybe it would have hit a little bit harder. But the match wasn't bad in any way. I thought it was a good match. And once again, like you said, Bailey retains. And, this isn't moving. It didn't really move anything like that. Like, it didn't move any stories along. Bailey just retained. But that in itself, you got a good match. And I think that that's the best you could ask for at this.
Oh, yeah, most definitely. And we really didn't expect this, besides me coming out and saying match of the night. After about 3 minutes into it, you kind of expected it to just be your basic three-way match. And the fact that Bailey's story is continuing, she's the champion. I like it. It just shows, like I said, it shows her adaptability into a ring.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. She's great. She's awesome. I love Bailey. I love the evolution that she's had throughout the course of her career, and it's just going to keep on going. Here, I was saying something when I was watching, and I was thinking to myself, I was like, man, how truly great is Bayley for her to bring Damage Control into existence and then give Damage Control this epic story, then leave Damage Control, and Damage Control is still a cohesive and strong faction, even with Bayley taking the title. You separate them by getting them on different shows, and now you still have Damage Control, Bayley's creation, and Bayley still doing her own thing. Bayley is so unselfish in the business that it's great to see her get what she deserves. And that's why what you said, I truly agree with. This is going to be the year of Bayley, because this is going to be the year that she gets the flowers that she deserves, I believe.
Yeah, most definitely. I can, I relate to everything you're saying on this one. It's just, the fans know that it's going to be a slow progression with the storytelling of it. And, there might be some matches here and there that people aren't too thrilled about, but Bailey's still going to give you 110%. So just watch. There might be something that pops out of it. She might make someone famous. You never know.
Yeah. It's kind of her thing, right? Like, I enjoy what she does and everything that she brings to the table. And like I said, it was a good match. Didn't really move anything along, but it was what it was. Bayley retains. So we have the next match there, and this next match, my son was he felt some type of way about it, because he's like, oh, it feels like a mid-card match because of where it's at on the card, and it's supposed to be for the World Heavyweight Championship. And I was like, well, I mean, I get where you're coming from, because he's, becoming quite the passionate fan himself. Yeah. But, I think that they're just trying, I think when they do stuff like that, they're trying to break the title matches off from each other, and so honestly, as much as, congratulations to our new women's tag team champions, tag team champions, and we're definitely going to talk about that. That would definitely technically be considered the cool off match. It's supposed to cool you off from one big match to going into the next big match. Yeah. Kind of like what we kind of needed between the opener of this show and the women's triple threat championship match. We needed something between there to cool that off, and they need the cool off match. So that's why they broke them apart, basically. But this World Heavyweight Championship match, Damian Priest defends against main event Jey Uso. What did you think about this match and the results and everything that came from it?
I really liked it. It made me realize that I've been missing out on Damian Priest the times I wasn't paying attention to him. I really like the story being told within Judgment Day, with him wanting to do this on his own. And I could understand that. I mean, honestly, one of the only titles that Judgment Day as a collective never really said that was theirs, as opposed to whoever won it, whoever was holding it, was Rhea's title. Every other title that has come into Judgment Day seems like it's a collective. And Damian Priest worked his butt off. Even though he was in Judgment Day and they were there to help, this past 2 years, Damian Priest has been working. And he has been trying to get himself to a level that the fans accept him, embrace him, and cheer him on, in the heel faction that he is. But we're seeing a turn with Priest. He doesn't want the help. He wants to do it on his own, which I don't blame him. And it actually kind of builds a cool storyline within a group mentality. The one guy wanting to rise above everybody else. But again, that also is going to create waves in there. And I think we started to see it. Jay, phenomenal match. He held France in the palm of his hand. Oh, he got to do the yeet to all sides. And then when he wasn't able to get the overall yeet, he ended up getting it. And it was fantastic. Priest he's really coming together. Just like Jay and Jimmy were when they first started. And I know Damian Priest isn't a rookie or anything, but what I'm saying is like when they first started, they were a fun, entertaining sight to see, But now look at them. Now they can tell stories. Now they don't have to throw a punch. They could just give a look, and we read into it as fans. And Damian Priest is getting to that level because at the end of that, while his hands are being raised, he's looking at his guys that are with him who've gotten him to the show, and he's seeing it, and he's like, why? I mean, to me, it's looking like he's saying, why isn't anybody listening to me? I'm the champion in the group. Nobody's listening to me. What else do I have to do? Well, it's going to be the crack that splits apart. And to round out what I'm saying, I think that sets up what I was speaking about earlier with who's going to join up with Orton and KO to go against these guys. I think it could be Priest if they start breaking up the Judgment Day.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that I'm seeing what's happening. He said he didn't want any help, and he ended up getting help from JD McDonough, who technically, JD McDonough saved his championship. I know there's a lot of jokes on his big head and everything, and I get that, but the truth of the matter is he saved his championship because honestly, Jey Uso had him dead to rights. He had him with that spear. He hit him with that Uso splash, and he was not kicking out. And I wasn't even sure if the referee saw if JD McDonough had put his foot on the rope. But let's call a spade here, man. He saved that man's championship reign. He would have lost had it not been for the guy that everybody jokes on, everybody gives a hard time to in the Judgment Day, and that's JD McDonough. I wonder if that's going to eventually play a factor in this.
Yeah. I mean, and it can play multiple factors. You could play the factor where he's grateful that JD did it, or you could play where he's extremely annoyed because of his pride. If I'm going to lose, I'm going to lose, but I don't want to win that with a asterisk mark next to the win. Oh yeah, but JD put the, so it's really cool that they got so many avenues. And now, as somebody who sat with you and we predicted what was going to happen, it's kind of got me going, well, they could go this way, but it kind of seems like they're setting up this way. And I don't know, we need mommy back to bring Judgment Day back together.
Yeah, they got to bring it all together. She was the glue.
Exactly.
I just want to say real quick, Tony, I see your comments on my personal page, and they're not coming up here. So you might have to go to either the In Your House page or the concept page for your comments to come up so we can bring them up and read them on the show. So just if you're still listening on our live feed here, I just want to let you know that you might have to go to one of those different pages so we can bring your comments up, because they're not coming from my personal page, and we definitely want to acknowledge you. But yeah, man, I feel like that everything going on with Judgment Day, we're seeing it slowly start, and I think that Finn is somebody who we need to really pay attention to right now. I think that with everything, JD saved the title run. You have Mommy, who's out injured. You have champion Damian Priest. You have Dom, who's making all these deals on the side. I don't know what he's doing, and then you have Finn, who's kind of just like, what's Finn's role in all this? And even my son was like, Finn is just kind of there right now. And I was like, no, Finn, it feels like Finn's not doing anything, but Finn's about to have a pivotal role in what's going to happen next with the Judgment Day. I think that you need to pay attention to what Finn Balor is doing right now. What do you think about that?
No, once you started bringing up Finn's name, that started turning wheels in my head. And yeah, you're right. Your son's right too, because it's like, it did feel like to the viewer who's just tuning in that Finn is just there. But like you're saying, that's when the Viper, or well, I shouldn't say Viper because we already got one. That's when the Copperhead strikes. There we go. We'll go a different snake. But yeah, that's when the snake will bite, because who's to say Finn doesn't, he's Finn Balor. He's also the demon. He's also, just Finn Balor. I mean, come on. So why is he even in this group? Why? Finn to me can be a solo guy all day long, and I'm going to tune into it. But Damian Priest, I don't know if I would want to go up against him. He just seems like he's angry about something, and he hasn't worked through
He's
it.
got a chip on his shoulder, man. Even with the championship, he's got a chip on his shoulder.
Yeah, and that's how we want our champions to be. You know, that's a fighting
Yeah,
champion. That means you're going
for
to come in
sure.
and take care of business, and we're excited for that.
Yep. Love it. That's what we like to see is somebody who's going to take care of business. Damian Priest is somebody who's grown a lot. He just looks great. He's really
Yeah.
fitting his role. You know, everybody's still calling him that bisexual Undertaker. I love how he's taken that so well on the chin. Like I don't think he really I don't think it bothers him, you know, like
No.
I enjoy the fact that he can just take that, roll with it, and it's really great to see the reign that he's had, man. And we saw one title defended and retained. Now on to the next titles that were defended and they changed hands. The only changing of hands where the title changed hands on this show, and that's the women's tag team championship, and that's of course the Kabuki Warriors, and that was against Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair. Pretty much what we expected. Title change hands, but I think we got to go into this one with a little bit softly, man, because I got to tell you, as much as I loved to see the tag team championships change hands, we both predicted. We think that it was the right time and the right situation for the tag team championships to change hands. I think that we're still seeing things in the ring where it needs to be cleaned up. And I wanted to get there, man. That's all I'm saying. I want us to get to that clean point to where we can enjoy these things a little bit more, because people are waiting for this to mess up, bro. People are especially with Jade and the big polarizing move that she made. People are literally, especially AEW fans, they're waiting for this to mess up. So it's like, you got to clean that up. And there was about 3 minutes in this match where it was just pure confusion, bro.
Yeah, it was. And I agree with everything you're saying. This is an extra mine out there in the minefield for Jade when she navigates her career here in the WWE. She always has to have in the back of her mind, and she's a true professional, so I know she knows this already, but you have to have in the back of your mind those fans that just want to hate.
Yes.
And the fact that you were such a figure that we who were AEW fans and are AEW fans, we loved seeing you over there in AEW when you took your ball and you went and did what was best for you, because at the end of the day, she did what was best for her and her career. So she went to WWE. But you have to know that those moments are just moments. And you have to be able to absorb what's going on, because it was a mass audience there. Maybe she was just overwhelmed. Maybe Jones kind of said it best though. She seemed like she was out of gas towards the end of that. But once those things are fixed up and she understands it and she becomes more ring fluid in these situations, Jade is going to be a phenomenal piece for any promotion that has her. Hopefully it's at WWE. She looked good. The ending of it was fantastic. Her double team she does with Bianca, I absolutely love, and I cannot wait for what they're going to come up with next. But yeah, it's those little things, and like you alluded to, there was those 3 minutes, and it involved an Asuka tag into saying the ref seen it, but I guess Sane didn't realize it.
Yeah, it was a very confusing moment.
Yeah.
I was even on Twitter, bro, as it was happening, and even people were like, "Man, fire the ref." It was confusion with the ref. What's happening with the ref? And I was like, "Man, it just seemed like there was." And after that happened, it seemed like the match just went way off the rails for about that time until they kind of cleaned it back up and got back on pace. But man, and like you said, Tony, that's why she's in a
Yeah,
tag team for now.
very
Perfect
good
to
point.
protect her from perfect point to protect her from situations like that, because she can easily get lost. And when you get lost in the match, I'm not speaking from experience, but I'm speaking from picking the brains and talking to many wrestlers over the years. So I feel like I do have some kind of a say so on this. Once you get lost, it's hard to get back into the swing of it, especially when you're not a ring general. And I definitely don't think Jade Cargill is a ring general at this point in her career.
Yeah, you're 100% on that. You and Tony out there. Yeah, 6 months in NXT would have done her like wonders.
I
Um,
agree. I agree.
because
She's at where she's at now, bro.
yeah, you can't. I mean, you really can't go back on this one.
No.
You gotta just see if it works, and it will work because she's with a woman who has built her own in the WWE. I mean,
Yes.
she is the EST. She is Bianca. Like, who's not a fan of Bianca from the past 3 years? You know, like, she
Right.
has put
Right.
in the work. She has done everything that the fans have wanted her to do. She she's a superstar. That's plain and
Yeah.
simple. She is a top level superstar. She's a level 1 or day 1 Hall of Famer. You put her up on a pedestal, and if you put her and Jade together like you are and they develop that bond, Jade's gonna follow right behind her, and then, you know, ultimately we're gonna have the match we want. Jade
Yes.
versus Bianca, and we want it to be amazing. So yeah, I agree with everybody and what they're saying. Jade does need a little more work. There's things we could have done, but like House said, we're here, we're at that moment. We got to push forward.
Yes.
Hopefully this tag titles kind of, you know, she learns from this, which I think
Yeah.
she you can already see her development from AEW to now.
Yes, absolutely. The development is there. It was, like I said, it was just a part of the match. It happens. These things happen, man, and you're gonna move forward. But it's great to see they're taking this next step and investing in Jay by giving her those tag team championships, putting her with somebody with Bianca Belair, and this is a great stage for Bianca Belair in her career, because we were at a point where it was like, what's Bianca gonna do next? She'd already
Yeah.
done so much. Main evented WrestleManias and you know, long title reigns, and was the pivotal part of bringing WWE into what is this new era and being in the face of that. And it's great to see her be able to have this next stage in her career where she can now be a tag team champion. And it's crazy because I remember one, I believe she was an early next in line program like signee, like when they bring them in from like college and stuff,
Oh yeah,
and
okay.
you know, they have them do that, you know, it's like college athletes,
Mhm.
and they bring them in and they kind of train them. That's how they've got a lot of their stars now through NXT, is by bringing them in from different like Tiffany Stratton is a collegiate style gymnast, you
Yeah.
know, things of that nature, and they bring them in. And I think that Bianca was in like an early signee of that. I could be wrong on that, but she definitely came in from college, and she was a track and field star, I believe. And she came in, and it's crazy to see that she came through the system the way that she did, and now at this stage of her career, she's beginning to approach ring general levels. You
Yeah.
know, so I think that's very cool progression that we've seen from Bianca Belair.
Yeah, I agree with you. Bianca, she's a fantastic, just a fantastic star, and I can't wait to see what she does next and where she goes from here because it's just been pure entertainment from her.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Oh, Tony, Mark Henry discovered her. See, I was not aware of that. That's cool. That's very cool. So let's take it to the main event here. And that was the phenomenal AJ Styles going up against the American Nightmare, the WWE Undisputed Champion, Cody Rhodes. And I got to tell you, this match was a good match. I think we all knew what was going to happen in this match. But
Yeah.
one thing that I've noticed that people were starting to say, I was on Twitter during this match because I was pretty active and trying to kind of gauge things and whatnot, is that there's talks and whispers of AJ Styles retiring. Have you heard anything about this?
I just heard now. I hope it's not true. I mean, I hope he just needs some time off or something, but like, didn't he just come back?
He did just come back. I don't know. And it still feel after watching that match, it still feel like he's wrestling at an extremely
Yeah.
high level.
Like, I don't know. Maybe I'm gonna say I haven't heard anything of it. What you just said was the first time I've heard of it.
It's
But
slight
I mean,
whispers.
what and they did at the beginning of the match, they alluded to that, what was it, 21 years, 22 years when he defeated Dusty for the NWA title. And then
Yes,
now
very
he's
cool
going,
reference.
it was something like that, 22 or 25 years, something like that. So think about that though. AJ Styles has been in this business for over 20 years.
Yeah.
You know, and I know because of the friends we've talked to, this business puts a lot of wear and tear on your body. Yes, he's definitely getting the best care he can and the best rehabilitation he can whenever he's injured. I hope the whispers are just people hating that he looks so good at this old. But yeah, that I would not like that. Sam, I am. No, no, I
No,
would
no,
not.
I wouldn't like that either. I like I said, I still think he's wrestling at an extremely high level. So I don't know. I just don't know about that, bros. But well, the match was good, and I expected
Yeah,
it to be good. And I just feel like Cody, he's putting on, he's going to give, I think we're going to get a great title reign from Cody. I really do. I think there's a lot of people that are kind of like ready to, they're waiting to have that Cody exhaustion. Like, you know, people just like to hate just to hate. And I feel like,
yeah,
you know, and, you know, I think we've been digging a little bit deeper into the waters of Twitter, which, God, rest in peace, us. But, you know, people are so quick to want to turn that corner, so quick to want to hate on something that they once thought that they wanted. And I am going to enjoy this run for what it is in the moment that it's happening, because we all wanted to see Rhodes win the WWE championship. We all wanted to see it happen, and now it's happened. So like, now we have to see what happens next. We can't just be like, oh, we're just, you know, it's fine to be a prisoner of the moment, but at the same time, it's like, now you're just looking for that next moment. You're just moment seeking. And it's like,
yeah.
we have to appreciate what we have going on in front of us. And I want to see Cody have a good run. And maybe whatever happens down the line, whoever he drops to, we create a new star.
Yeah, I 100% back what you're saying. We did wait for so long for Cody to get this moment, for his family to get this moment, honestly. The legacy that the Rhodes hold is something we all know, and wrestling fans out there hold dear to their hearts, that family. When I want to harken back to what Tony said here. He heard, I heard in his last contract, this is his last contract, and he will probably be coach NXT. And that's going back to the AJ Styles discussion. But with that being said, if this is his last run, it was very full circle for a star at the time AJ was to take the NWA world title off Dusty, for him to later on in his career lose a title match to Dusty's son. And I'm not going to say the WWE is anywhere near the NWA championship, because it's something it's like mythical gods. Okay. So we just put that over there and we have WWE over here. But for it all to come around to that moment, is kind of a beautiful thing, especially for AJ being in the business for this long. And then for Cody to have the accomplishments that he had, and for all the pieces that are connected to his father or his brother in some point in his career, is a really cool aspect that we don't get with every wrestler.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that Cody Rhodes brings something unique to the business. We
Exactly.
saw it with The Rock.
Yeah.
And here's the thing, bro. Like, can you imagine if we get Rock versus Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania 41 in Vegas? That's gonna go nuts. Nuts. Come on, bro.
Oh,
Nuts.
I don't need, if I'm there, I don't even know if I'd believe it if it wasn't happening in front of me.
Man, it's good. I'm telling you, there's a lot of, now that we know where WrestleMania is going to be at, there's going to be a whole lot of speculation. I love it. I love it
Very
when they
true.
announce it, you know, and especially in the midst of, I mean, let's be honest here. WWE is red hot and on fire right now. I mean, it's all steam ahead, bro. I mean, we're leaving France and we're going boom. Right next top is going to be Saudi Arabia for the King of the Ring tournament, and that's actually a perfect segue. Look at patting myself on the back.
Yeah, look at the
There we go.
professionalism.
Here we go. Barry Horowitz right there, patting myself on the back. As we have a great transition there and a great segue to next thing that we want to talk about after a great Backlash France event with a great crowd and many great matches that really just, it was fun. But what came from this and what's next is the King of the Ring tournament. And voice Josh Joseph, I'm a man who loves tournaments. I love tournament style competition. And I was always a fan of the King of the Ring. And if we could bring this list up here on the screen, I have got to tell you, voice, I'm super excited for this list. Could you go ahead and read it off for me, bro?
Oh man, so this is for the upcoming Raw. So we have Shayna Baszler versus Zelina Vega in a Queen of the Ring tournament. Ivy Nile versus Zoe Starks. Natty versus Io. Asuka versus Lauren Valkyrie. Now into the men's, we're going Rey Mysterio versus Kofi Kingston. That's going to be a great one. Sheamus versus Gunther. Drew McIntyre versus Finn Balor, and Ricochet versus Dragunov.
Oh my God.
This is just Monday night.
Like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Bro.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. This is beautiful.
That's a live event right there.
I can't get over it, bro. I saw the matches that they announced, and Tony here says Gunther versus Sheamus. My God, like, they are not, this feels big.
Yeah.
This feels big. Bring that list up one more time for me, because I want to look through the list real quick and just, so okay. All right. Shayna, Zelina, Ivy, Zoe, Natty, Io, Asuka, Valkyria, Mysterio, Kingston, Sheamus, Gunther, McIntyre, Finn Balor, Ricochet, Ilya, Dragunov. All of those names feel like names that can help bring something to the King of the Ring moniker.
Very true.
And I feel like all those names could either, there's names in here that can either help the King of the Ring moniker, or the King of the Ring moniker can help them. And I think that that's a great spot to be in. I do find it a little bit strange that the last King of the Ring winner, Xavier Woods, is not in the tournament. I guess he's not going to have opportunity to defend his crown.
Oh yeah, that is kind of peculiar. I wonder if there's a story there. But yeah, I like what you said though. Every person in this tournament right here in front of us can either help the tournament itself or be helped by it. And you are not lying, because let's just go to the second match, the Ivy versus Zoe.
Yeah.
That right there, if either one of those ladies becomes queen of the ring, their career is going to be amplified for the remainder of this year.
Yeah.
I mean, that would be a huge stepping stone for both of those women. And I mean, give it to Shayna. You could give it to Shayna because now you're cementing her dominance in the women's division by making her the queen of the ring. You could there's so many opportunities here. And
There's a lot, man.
I didn't know I wanted Ricochet versus Dragunov, but now I know I want it.
Yeah, I mean, and you can have like with the trajectory that Ricochet's been on, because one thing I also want to say is that he did end up winning that Speed tournament on WWE Speed, the X exclusive show, and now he's the Speed champion. King Ricochet, that'd be great. The way they're moving Ricochet's been at a very good pace. But then what type of element would it bring to the Judgment Day? What type of would it bring to the Judgment Day if it were to, if it were to go to Finn Balor, And Tony brings up a good question. Is it a tournament or a qualifier? Unclear about that at this point. We'll definitely get that cleared up. But even the names involved here, that's really what I want to focus on, is the names involved here. It's a great for the tournament itself. And I truly feel like if Finn Balor were to win this thing, what would stop him from saying, hey, I'm king of the ring? Damian, why don't you give me a championship opportunity? And what if the king of the ring leads to a championship opportunity like it used to back in the day?
Exactly. That would be perfect.
It'd be perfect. It'd be perfect. Finn Balor wins King of the Ring, gets himself an opportunity at the championship of his choosing, maybe at SummerSlam. There you go. Come on. That's good storytelling. King Gunther is also a great option. Somebody who's done a beautiful job bringing prestige to the Intercontinental Heavyweight Championship. And I can only imagine the prestige that he would bring to the King of the Ring tournament. It'd be amazing. What are your thoughts, man?
Man, those last two names you threw out there, it goes full circle with what you were talking about earlier with like Finn. He's been in the back. Just, keep your eye on Finn right now. Yeah. What if he does win the tournament? Then he can go back to the group and be like, look, I'm king of the ring. It looks like you got my belt because I'm the king, So that's an exciting idea there. And Gunther himself, I mean, both of the guys you brought up in that, both of their factions we're starting to see little hairline cracks in it. And it seems like that wedge is going. So are they going to stay with their factions and try to mend those fences, whatever they are? I think Gunther himself is just tired of losing. It seems like that's how they're setting him up as he's getting to the point where he's fed up, and he's probably going to blame the ones around him because he's like a guy that if I messed up around him, I would definitely let him know I messed up, Gunther. It was my fault. I'm sorry. Whatever happens from here is on me. But again, even going back to Finn, there's cracks. We've seen the cracks in the match that happened tonight with Priest, and then Finn and JD coming out when they were specifically told not to. So there's cracks in these factions. King of the Ring. I mean, it gave us the birth of Stone Cold Steve Austin 316.
Yes.
And right there, this tournament itself should be. And we had the Nugget. He was our King of the Ring.
Also, King Booker.
And King Booker. I mean, come on. Who didn't love hearing that? It was so fun. But that's what I think about when I hear the King of the Ring and I see the competition that they're throwing in there. I go back to the fun times, the memorable times of King of the Ring, and like you said, I hope it culminates into a title match, because you did go through a tournament of some of the best wrestlers on the roster, so there should be more of a compensation at the end of it in a title match.
Yeah, no, Most definitely, man. I think there's something that's got to come from that, man. Most definitely. And I think that this tournament, it's going to be fun. It's going to lead to a lot of awesome things, man. And I do believe that I mean, it's going to be in Saudi Arabia. So we're going to see another international crowd. So I think that that helps with the prestige of the tournament as well, that it's going to be another international crowd that's been hitting, and they've been doing great with those, man. And then next up, I believe after that is going to be Money in the Bank. I just believe, man, that every show coming up for WWE is heavy hitting, and there's a lot that's going to be on the line in the coming PLEs down the line, and all of them being international. Because I think about it here, I believe Money in the Bank is international too. I believe it's in Canada. So, like, man, these shows are just coming and coming, man. What are you thinking about the just this lineup of shows that's coming up for the WWE?
Dude, I love it. I love the fact that we're starting to get like we talked about last year. Um, just the fact that the Puerto Rico crowd was so loving of the product that was being put there, so accepting of the entertainment value of it. And then we've seen France do the same thing. We've seen Saudi Arabia do it a few times now. They honestly, you know what? Saudi Arabia makes theirs look like a week-long vacation that like we would spend. Like they have it look so luxurious over there and just so awesome. I love the venues that they do over there. Um, and I'm always a big fan of Canada PLEs. I think when they do things up there, Canada fans, they're a different breed, but they're a fun breed, and they have
Yeah.
the respect for traditional wrestling and what has evolved from that. So the fact that that we're seeing this, it's just, to me as a fan, it's just showing me that the world loves WWE, and the world is a Paul Levesque guy.
Yeah, man, there's a lot of us now, for sure. A lot of us Paul Levesque guys, because we're enjoying what we're seeing, man. And it's been a great episode here, but I do want to jump it off real quick with the last thought here. So we've had a few releases here in the last couple of weeks with the WWE, which is kind of typical. Sometimes guys don't work out or things of that nature. But there was one release that was pretty notable, and that was the release of Drew Gulak, who was with NXT, and he was doing a lot of good work with the No Quarter Catch Crew gang there that consists of members like Damon Kemp and Charlie Dempsey, the son of William Regal. And there were some comments made by one Ronda Rousey. We don't have to go too deep into that part or anything like that. But once these comments were made, it kind of felt like Drew Gulak's career was on borrowed time, and
Yeah.
they were just waiting for the right opportunity to make that happen. And it happened within the midst of a lot of other releases. Another release ended up being like Gable Steveson, who everybody thought was going to be that next Kurt Angle-esque type star, and it just didn't work out in any ways. No matter how much they tried with him, he ended up getting released. What are you thinking about these releases, and what are your thoughts on the release of one Drew Gulak?
Hmm. Well, the ones outside of Drew, um, it, it's I know that there's this right now probably seems like the end of everything, but it's been proven time and time again that if you take your ball and you go elsewhere and you put in the work and you prove yourself that the fans can get behind you, they're going to call you back. Naomi, she just was in a title match. I don't know if anybody knows that, but yeah, that's exactly what she did. Um, Drew, that's a minefield in itself. And look, all you can do is, if there was a mistake made, you can only accept what part you had in that, and move forward and not worry about what's being said behind you. Because if you're not moving forward, man, you're just standing still and the world's passing you by. You got to keep going. Drew, you are a phenomenal young talent, and any promotion would be lucky to have your services inside their promotion. So go out there, just put your nose to the grindstone, keep pushing, keep doing what all of you have been doing. You made it to the dance. So it's not like they're holding a gate there and saying you can't come back. There's got to be something. There's got to be give and take. And right now is going to be your guys' time to give and give and give. And I know that you've probably been doing that. You've been working for WWE, but you're the master of your own destiny. So just take the ball, run with it, and do what you do, Drew. Just do what you do.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, man, the circumstances. Like, I always hate situations like this, and it's something that can be unpacked, and we don't get the time for it.
Yeah.
But we had another release, like Cameron Grimes was another one who was released, and man, he's right off the bat, I'm thinking to myself, when he's able to be unleashed from that no compete clause, he is going to absolutely feast on the indies.
Yes, you are right. And I'm not trying to get into any type of politics, but I believe that there is a bill right now in the House to take away the no compete clause from contracts.
I thought I heard something about that. That would be amazing.
So it's I believe it's in its next round of getting it passed. So hopefully that completely passes, and then things like this, the talents will be able to go out there and I guess I'll say it, get fed more.
Yeah, man. Go out there and grind and get your shine on. We're seeing it with so many great names like Nick Namath and Mustafa Ali, and even Dalla is making a great splash for himself. Like, there's a lot of great things going on. But you talk about that real quick. But before we slide out of here, man, I just got to ask you one final question, and that question is this: do you believe in Joe Hendry?
You see, this has been going around in the chat for a while, and it started last week, I believe, and I was like, what in the heck is Jones talking about? And then when I seen you start responding about it, I'm like, okay, well, it's definitely just not one of those Jones things where he's just on his own planet. So I checked it out. Dude, you aren't wrong. This guy, WWE is going to be knocking soon, because if they haven't already, this is entertainment. This is something that makes you go back, thinking back as a child and watching wrestling. That's what it brings me back to. It brings me back to the fun. It brings me back to a young man who's enjoying the moment that he has, and he's making the most of it. And I think that's what needs to be the most celebrated with him. Outside of that, man, I don't know where he can go. Like, right now, it's like it's a blank book, and we're just watching it get wrote line by line. And I'm kind of here for it.
It's crazy, man. He is a Scottish professional wrestler, and he just is so entertaining with his character. I didn't even realize that the song that's now charting on iTunes right now in the UK, it's crazy. He actually did that back in 2019, and it's just now getting popular and charting and whatnot. And it's just so cool to see situations like that. And watching him, he's actually really, really good. He's not just some TikTok highlight or something like that. Like, he's actually really good. And man, it's just like you said, NXT's got to be knocking on that door very, very soon, because I feel like that what he is what they wanted Elias to be. And there's definitely something there. I, for one, believe in Joe Hendry.
I'm getting there. I just need a couple more cups of Kool-Aid, and I think I'll be joining you and Jones there celebrating. It's it's definitely some lightning in a bottle, and I really think WWE is going to capitalize on it.
I think they
There's no
will
way they
jump on
wouldn't.
it. Yeah.
Yeah,
Especially with the working relationship that they've developed over
exactly.
time. I think it definitely is something that we can absolutely see. So, man, we're going to wrap this up. Call this a really great episode, man. I still got a few things to do. It's still pretty early because I love those early Saturday shows, those international shows. It's just really helpful, for an old guy like me. But where can they find you at, man? What you got going on next? And I know we have our house party tomorrow, but what's next and where can they catch the voice, Josh Joseph?
Well, right after that house party, you can catch me Monday night, 7 p.m., right before Raw. I do a Raw review preview show where me, Bubba Duke, the Bulkster, and OMD, friends from Canada and friends like an hour and 20 minutes away from me. But besides that, they're my hosts. They're fun guys. We do the Raw preview review show where we take 3 topics from the previous Raw, and each one of us brings it to the table. We discuss it for a little bit and then let the fans take over with it. And then we discuss what's coming up. So you can catch me there. You can also catch me. There's no set dates for my interview shows, but I have one coming up with the Grunmeister. There were some technical difficulties yesterday. We got that all taken care of. So that will be coming up this week. And you can always catch my past interviews that I've had. Those are out on Spotify, the YouTube, Facebook. You can always find them there. So stop by, visit me on X. I'm the JJ, the Voice 64 there on X. You can come by, and that's the Wild West. And I know the concept has experienced that recently. So come have some fun, say whatever you want. I don't care. I'll probably giggle at it. So, but just have fun. Have fun with us. Be here at In Your House. I got so many friends doing amazing work out there. Jones, go check his comedy stuff out. He does that, I believe, on Thursdays. He's really fans. If you're a Kill Tony fan, follow Jones, because I'm trying to talk him into going out to Texas at some point in time, signing up and getting on that show, because I think he'll be a national treasure once the rest of the world can hear him. But again,
he's really honing his skills.
He really is. And In Your House is honing their skills. So always be looking out for all our content we're putting out, because it's a lot of fun working here. And as always, House, thank you for this playground you've built.
No problem, man. Appreciate you coming and playing with us on the playground and talking a little wrestling and having a lot of fun talking about it. And as far as me, guys, I just want to get out ahead of this right now and say right now we are postponing the independent wrestler draft. We are still going to have it, but because of circumstances of the last week, we're going to postpone it because we want to give you guys the best, most optimized draft that we possibly can. But that's still going down. The draft series will continue, but tomorrow would just be a regular house party where we talk to the guys, we chat it up, we talk about the week in wrestling, we talk about the week that we have ahead of us in wrestling. We're probably going to talk more King of the Ring as that starts to get closer. A lot to cover still in professional wrestling. And hey, anything else that catches our eye, we'll talk about that too. You guys already know the vibes. Of course, I want to get out ahead of this as well and say that tomorrow's episode will be dedicated to the memory of a friend of mine named Nick Cooper, who was an early listener of the podcast. We had met each other through a Facebook group, Better Than You Wrestling Discussion. And we would just talk all the time about wrestling in this group of people who would come together from all different states. It'd be all across the United States, and we'd be on Facebook just talking about wrestling, having discussions and whatnot. And he just recently passed. So tomorrow's episode is going to be dedicated to his memory. I wanted to do it. His mother came to me personally and told me about the fan that he was of the show and everything that we were doing here. So absolutely, we're going to make sure that that episode is dedicated to him tomorrow. But other than that, you can catch me doing my solo shots on Tuesdays. Going to keep finding time to do those. And also on next Saturday, I'll be at Emerge Wrestling doing commentary for whatever may come. It's going to be a great show. We're going to have a lot of great talent there on display. And guys, man, my goal now is really to be at WrestleMania 41. I haven't been at a WrestleMania ever. I love Las Vegas. I love wrestling. I have a personal relationship with the city of Las Vegas. I love that city so much. And it'll be a great opportunity to have another moment in a city that I truly think is just the funnest place that you can go to in the United States, and that's the city of Las Vegas, and cap off another moment there for WrestleMania. That's going to be my goal for next year. But guys, as far as following anything that I do and what we do, it is at Alacon House, ALACON, and that is on X, and that is also on IG. And then you can follow me at Alacon the Concept House. That is on Facebook. And then you can follow this podcast here. Follow our X. We're really pushing towards that one, and that's In Your House Pod, and that's HOWSE, and the W stands for work. So, guys, you already know the vibes. I want to thank you guys once again for coming through. Thank my great host, the voice, Josh Joseph, for coming through. On behalf of him and everybody else here at In Your House, guys, I need you to tell a friend, to tell a friend, to tell a friend to hop on this bandwagon. Get off, because the household is still going mighty strong. You guys have a great day and a great weekend. We'll talk to you tomorrow during our Sunday house party. Peace.